Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to new video. Today we are going to discuss about the last topic of chapter number 2, agriculture, which is impact of globalization on agriculture. Before we begin about the impact, let's discuss about globalization. What is globalization? I am going to tell you about globalization in brief because we have a dedicated chapter, separate chapter in economics, which is all about the globalization. So detailed discussion about globalization will conduct later on in that chapter. But to understand impact of the globalization, first of all we need to understand that what is globalization. So globalization means rapid integration of economies of different countries. That is called globalization. Actually, globalization is all about the integration between the countries. Means our country integrated or joined with other country culturally, economically, socially. That is globalization. But mainly here we focus on globalization with the economic perception. So we here count the integration of economy. Alright? So like we sell our goods, we import goods from other countries. So that's all about globalization. Alright? Hope you understand about the globalization in brief. Now let's talk about impact of globalization on agriculture. So globalization is not a new phenomenon. Actually it's centuries old. India is connected with different countries. In ancient time, I would like to talk about that time there were kingdoms or empires. So India was connected, well connected with different parts of the world and mainly connected through the trade, because at that time factories were not came up, as well as main here activities of people were agriculture, different agriculture and art and craft. So we exported various things of art and craft, artifacts, as well as most important, we exported here from India various crops. That is agriculture, right? So this is not a new thing. And if we talk about that even colonial era, the European traders came to India. They came mainly for the agriculture products. They wanted various spices, mainly spices they wanted. So Indian spices were exported in different countries in medieval era as well as earlier too. And farmers of South India, because South Indian region is well known and most suitable for growing of different spices such as black pepper, cinnamon, cardamom, right? So various type of spices are famous of India and mainly of southern region. So farmers of southern region encouraged to grow certain types of spices, because such kind of spices highly demanded in different parts of the world, in different markets of the world. And till today, it is one of the important items we export from India, spices. Not only we export spices, but one of the important items we export today. Now during the British period, let's talk about British period, about history, about colonial era, right? We learned before in 8th standard, right? Mainly in 8th standard, as well as few things we learned in history, nationalism in India as well in 10th standard. So let's recall something that we need to connect. So during the British period, cotton bulbs of India attracted British, and ultimately cotton was exported to Britain as a raw material for the newly established textile mills. A new chapter, that the age of industrialization, textile mills in Britain will learn. But let's talk about textile mills in Britain. Due to industrialization, means new inventions, factories came up, mills were set up in Britain, but Britain couldn't do cotton. But for textile mill, cotton was necessary condition, first condition. because synthetic yarns were not invented that time, so mainly cotton was highly demanded. So there were many sources, and one of the most important source of cotton was India. So British demanded that cotton from India to feed their industries. They were needed cotton as a raw material for their textile industry. So cotton was highly demanded. Cotton textile industry in Manchester, city in England, as well as Liverpool, flourished due to availability of good quality cotton from India. Yes, they had other sources of cotton as well, but as I mentioned, one of the most important sources of cotton was India, because they were able to get cheap cotton, means actually high quality of cotton at cheap rate. So of course beneficial for them. So earlier in nationalism in India, you people have learned about the Champaran movement, Champaran Satyagraha in map work as well, right? So Champaran Satyagraha in 1917. Why? As well as we have learned, we had learned about it in 8th standard too. So why Champaran movement? Why people that oppose this? Because British government forced them to grow indigo. Indigo was required, right? Because that time synthetic dyes were not available, synthetic colors were not available. So they were needed indigo for production of textile, cotton textile. After cotton as raw material, that indigo was also important raw material. So they forced farmers to grow indigo, forced them. And farmers also wanted to grow cereal crops like rice and millets for survival of their family. And growing indigo was harmful to their land as well, because the roots of indigo that difficult to take out, and actually difficult to grow for them rice after taken the indigo crops. So there are lots of problems to them about you already have learned. So indigo was also necessary in textile industry, which were located in Britain. They were unable to grow food grains. Those farmers were unable to grow food grains to sustain their family. So they opposed, and they held Satyagraha in 1917 in Bihar, Champaran district of Bihar. So this is all about the globalization. Now let's talk about the impact of globalization in contemporary world. Under globalization, particularly after 1990. Why after 1990? Because actual globalization began from 1991. About it you will learn in the chapter number 3, Globalization in Economics. Despite being an important producer of rice, cotton, rubber, tea, coffee, jute and spices, our agriculture products are not able to compete with developed countries. Reason, as I just said moments ago actually I said that Indian spices, Indian products were well known in the world. Right, but today why we are not able to compete with other countries? Reason, like in the beginning of this chapter, we have discussed that Indian agricultural land is scattered, means per head ownership of land is less. So here farmers are smaller, and production cost is of course higher for them. While if we talk about the developed countries, in developed countries, actually those farmers have that very large land, hectares of land per head, and they also get subsidies from the government. Obviously, they are developed countries, so feasible for them. And those developed countries are ready to sell their goods at lower price. For an example, I would like to take two examples means of two crops. Like wheat, United States of America, which is well known for wheat today. So Indian wheat now no longer able to compete with USA's in the international market, different countries prefer to purchase from USA. Yeah, political reasons are different. Main reason because cheaper. Indian wheat comparatively costlier. Reasons are there because in America government provides subsidy and they have large land, so per hectare they get more productivity and less production cost. Similar about China in rice. So we have higher production cost and we are not able to get higher productivity in agriculture. So those are actually drawbacks for us. But today, Indian agriculture finds itself at crossroads. There are lots of controversies and many people, many experts, they have their different opinions, different views. So let's talk about that agriculture of India in contemporary world. To make agriculture successful and profitable, proper trust should be given to improvement of the condition of marginal and small farmers, which we discussed in the last video. We have discussed about their conditions. So today it is necessary to improve their conditions because last sentence what I said that if you about food security. So if you want food security, food security is not possible without security of small farmers. It was the last sentence, right? So first condition to improve conditions of small and marginal farmers. About the green revolution, we have seen about the green revolution and result of green revolution. At the same time, some of the disadvantages we have seen earlier. Disadvantages mainly like overutilization of chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, chemical weedicides. Those lead to like land degradation, soil quality decrease, water level depletion, especially groundwater level. So such kind of issues we face, and those issues are actually reality. So now, how to improve agriculture? So today there is one answer of it, that is instead of the green revolution, here about the gene revolution. Gene revolution, which is related to genetic engineering, that means hybrid seeds, modified seeds. In laboratory, those scientists, those biologists, they modify the genes of seeds. That is called genetic engineering, right? And those modified seeds are better than before. They have better immunity than those normal seeds. They have better productivity than normal seeds. So this is one of the hopes, that is genetic engineering. But it has also some drawbacks, like they are not good enough for nutrition, they are somehow harmful for health. Some kind of drawbacks are there. So that is also a matter of controversy. But still some people believe that instead of the green revolution, gene revolution is the better way, because economically we have to survive in the national market. Now, if genetic engineering is not good, if the green revolution means modern means of farming, those also bring lots of environmental related issues. So what to do? So there is one best way most of the people prefer. Even actually in India, educated India as well as foreign countries too, educated people prefer organic farming. So what is organic farming? So organic farming is farming with using of natural available substances without factory made, without chemical fertilizers, without chemical pesticides, without chemical weedicide. Rather they use like cow dung and other manure as fertilizer. They use like natural antiseptic like turmeric and some other things, right? Antibiotics for plants, rather using those pesticides. That is totally natural, and that is the best for the environment and best for means human being, for us those who consume, and best for those living beings as well. Means organic farming today is the best method. Yes, somehow little costlier than other, but that is the future. So organic farming is much in vogue today because it is practiced without factory-made chemicals such as fertilizers and pesticides. Hence, it does not affect environment in a negative manner. Rather, it helps environment. Alright. So this is about the organic farming. And a few economists think that Indian farmers have blank future if they continue growing food grains. Blank future is like depressed, distressed future. It's no longer bright future if you continue growing only food grains. Yeah, food grains are necessary, but they don't have to survive entirely on the food grains. Rather, they have to change the pattern. That means here most of the farmers they survive on small land. So food grains on holding that grow smaller and smaller portion, that is rices. Small farmers and small farmers they only grow food grains, and such kind of food grains limited to their family only. So here actually India's rural population is about 600 million, approximately 600 million of rural population, and they depend upon 250 million approximate 250 million hectares approximate agriculture land. 600 million total population and 250 million hectare agriculture land. So obviously less than a half hectare per head. So what to grow in less than a half hectare of land? So Indian farmers should diversify their cropping pattern from cereals to high value crops. This will increase income and reduce environmental degradation together. Many of the farmers, especially those educated farmers, they begin to grow different types of crops in Gujarat as well, in other states too. And result, they gave testimony about result. Many articles I have read in the social media as well as in newspaper sources that different types of crops as well as new methods of crops in organic way which are very beneficial to them, less cost as well as higher income. So Indian farmers must turn to that way. They give their testimony and encourage other farmers to grow in that way. Different farmers they actually like experiment various types of farming. So that is only the future for Indian farmers. So here they can grow fruits, medicinal herbs, flowers, vegetables, biodiesel crops like jatropha and jojoba, and those kind of crops requires less irrigation. They require less take care compared to some other crops, and those are actually valuable crops. So of course beneficial to us, right? So we cannot entirely depend on food grains or cannot entirely depend on such kind of crop. So balance between both types of crop is mandatory for the better development of agriculture in India, for the brighter future of agriculture in India, because we have actually lots of potential. We have different types of land, we have different types of soil available in India, we have diverse climate as well. So such kind of opportunities we have, those are actually opportunities to us. So if we can take a farmers can utilize such kind of opportunity to grow different types of crops, of course those are important for us. Those type of crops will give much benefit to them, because many of crops are highly valuable crops in the international market. So rather just limited to traditional type of farming, now it's time to that develop ourselves, right? So that is the future of Indian agriculture, because in India we cannot deny importance of agriculture. In India there was importance of agriculture, there is importance of agriculture, and agriculture will be remain important in the Indian economy in the future. So this is about the agriculture in India. In the next video, I will provide you. Thank you so much.